Village Board meeting to order, June 9th, 2025. What is it, about 6:42? Apologize for making everybody wait. We had a number of meetings, and the first meeting bled into the second, and the second bled into this one, and that is the way it is today. So we need roll call.
Karas.
Here.
Anastasio.
Here.
Venturini.
Here.
Washburn.
Here.
Doxy.
Here.
Bhatia.
Here.
DeGroot.
He's here. So let's do the Pledge of Allegiance. So the next item is public comment, and before I get to that, I just wanted Attorney Smith to make a few comments. There's some things that we noticed.
So there's a difference under agendas between public comment, where anyone can say whatever they want. They have 3 minutes on any item that you could possibly think of. And then there's public hearings, and public hearings are required for certain types of actions by the village board. They have to be published, they have to be posted, they have to give notice. And it has been brought to our attention that one of our posting places in the village, which is legally required by state statute, did not post notice of the public hearings. So we cannot legally go forward with any action under agenda items G1, A through D. So for those of you, I had handed to me a petition to stand in opposition of Ordinance 6, 2025, and to not take action tonight. That's what's going to happen because legal notice was not posted the way it needs to be. So there's no discretion in that matter. The board cannot take any action on those items tonight, and it will have to be reposted in the future. But anyone who'd like to speak at public comment can still feel free to do that, and that's the next agenda item. But we will not be having public hearings on any item tonight because of the lack of posting, which again is required by state law. So that's all I have to say about that.
This is all four.
All four of them, yep.
So no public hearings on those 4 items. So if you came here to speak specifically on any of those 4 agenda items, we're not taking any action anyways because of the lack of publication. However, I've got all these names here, and in the case of public comment for anything else, members of the public are welcome to provide comments on any matter. Please listen to the president to recognize you. State your name and address for the public record. Comments are limited to 3 minutes. So as I go through these public comment sign-up slips, if you want to still come and say a few words, happy to have you. If not, just let me know that you'll pass, and I'll go on to the next individual. Troy Ruffalo. Up here at the podium, name and address for the record.
Good evening. Troy Ruffalo. I live at 7003 Braun Road, which is going to be directly across from where this matter is going to be taking place that was on the agenda. Obviously, I'm here to express my opposition to this. We moved out of the city of Racine to get away from all of that. We are an actual working farm yet there. We have a 3-acre parcel there. We have chickens, we have livestock, we have horses. I understand the development that's just to the east of us. I also work in law enforcement, and I understand what comes with development like that, especially residential housing, the type that is being proposed to put in there, along with the subsidized housing or assisted living, however you want to term it, that it's going to be rent assisted and things like that. I don't want to stare out sit on my front porch and look across the street at that. Like I said, I moved out of the city for a reason. I spent a lot of money at that property, rebuilding barns, rebuilding buildings on the property. I put a $60,000 wraparound porch on my house so I could sit there and enjoy it. I don't want to look at that and all the problems that are gonna come with it. I don't know if any of you spend any time on Braun Road. It is a racetrack. People coming in and out of that apartment complex to the east of us, they fly down that street. You know, the real road needs to be repaired. It's 45 miles an hour past my house, but yet the new 6-lane road west of 90th is 35. You know, and it's a cemented paved road it's wide open. Braun Road from 90th at east down to 31 is a racetrack. I hear it all night long, plus I hear the traffic from 31. We've had complaints from people that, you know, that I've heard complaints of, you know, because we have farm animals that they don't like the smell. Well, we were there before you started building, unfortunately. So my opinion, obviously, is, you know, for what it's worth, and being a property owner there, I'm totally in opposition of 618 unit townhomes, apartments, whatever you're going to call them, going across the street there. Thank you.
Anthony, Wazirki? Thank you.
Anthony Wazorek, 6555 Carnation Drive. I am the corner unit in the Region subdivision. I am also opposed to it for the same reasons. We have a lot of children going through our subdivision that play there, and the roads have been sealed off for a long time, so that's just the norm, right? We also have some assisted living facilities there, and there are people with wheelchairs going up and down all areas of the subdivision, including up and down 31, which is a whole different matter. I almost hit a guy going down there because I went into the right lane to turn in, and he happened to be there. The person who took my spot happened to see what was going on, pulled over, and that enabled me to get back in the middle lane, or I may have hit a guy in a wheelchair, which obviously scared the heck out of me, right? So there are ancillary things that happen when you guys approve these kind of things, right? It's something to consider. You know, obviously, everybody here is concerned about our property value, as I think you would too, if you had to look at something like that or try and sell your home. We were told when we purchased there that the only thing that was going in was our subdivision was going to increase the same way. It was just going to extend out. And that's what everybody believed and everybody thought was going to happen. So another consideration is, it seems like there's rental units going up all over Mount Pleasant. Do we really need another one? I think there's one across from Farm and Fleet that's probably only partially filled. It was just built. So that would be my concern. The last thing I would say, guys, is if you lived in my house there, how would you vote on this? And if the answer is, yeah, there's no way I would do this, or I would vote against it, I asked you to consider, why would that be any different than how I would feel, right? So I just ask you to keep that in mind. Appreciate it. Thank you guys for your time.
Wendy?
Hi, good evening. My name is Wendy, and I live at 3742 Blossom Drive. My house is right at the corner where the road would go, on the corner of Biscayne and Blossom. And like it was already mentioned, there are kids out all the time, people pushing babies, there's teenagers on scooters and bikes, there's people jogging, there's people walking dogs. There's 2 bus stops on Biscayne. I don't know if you guys know that. We don't have sidewalks, we don't have lights, our roads are not that big. We live in a quiet neighborhood, a safe neighborhood that we knew was gonna be a quiet and a safe neighborhood. Like the gentleman just mentioned, it's not just us, it's Mount Pleasant. I don't think this is affordable housing. The seasons that are already there, their rent starts at $1,300 and it goes up to $5,500. That is significantly more than my mortgage. Granted, I don't have a big house, but that's not affordable, I don't think, in my opinion. If you're looking to build housing that's affordable, single-family homes are much more affordable. They they don't generate money. I don't know if that's what you want, is money versus housing, but I would consider that also. And the last thing I guess I want to say is, we hear all the time about people having, rights to this and rights to that, and one of them is rights to affordable housing. I don't disagree with that, but I think that we also have a right to live in the safe space, which we worked hard to build our homes and buy our homes there, raise our kids and our families there, and the second generations there, and I don't want that taken away from us, just to build another apartment building. What about south of Brown Road? That's still Mount Pleasant, and I don't know if it has to be Mount Pleasant, but if not, there's manufacturing businesses off the interstate, and there's lots of space there. Not too far away from where Microsoft hasn't even built and hired people yet. So, thank you for your time. Have a good night.
Can we hear from Royce Markey?
Hi there, thank you. My name is Royce Markey. I live at 6555 Carnation Drive. I've been a resident out there from when the subdivision was starting to be built. So that's since 2007. So 18 years have been living there. In all the homes along the outside perimeter, I'm right at the corner. We butt up right against the farm, the area that, right there. We have a walkout basement. A lot of other people have walkout basements, and there's garden basements too in that. And my concern about high-density type development is that you're going to have increased traffic. A lot of people, we've already have talked about the kids in the neighborhood, and Biscayne, Yates, which were going to be extended eventually into that area. We already have a problem with traffic, and that's why we have a cop constantly sitting off of Green Bay Road to slow people down to 35 miles per hour, but they go 55. And so there's just, what will happen is once we start developing in there, and if we have high-density apartment-type things, they're gonna use our subdivision to do a shortcut to avoid Braun, to avoid 31 in that light. And that's gonna occur there. There's already been so much traffic there that if I try to go bicycling across of Green Bay Road, it's very dangerous. And I've even, like one time I was standing in the middle of the intersection, I got blown over by a car going so fast. So I was actually on the street with my bicycle. And we also have the fire department there. We have assisted living. We also have the medical homes, the assisted living homes within our neighborhood, which is fine. That's worked out okay. But we already have a lot more ambulances, at least 2-3 nights a week. We have the lights come right into our house and everything. So I don't think we can keep handling all this additional volume and traffic within our neighborhood. I think we'll have, like the first gentleman was saying, who's law enforcement, we're gonna see increased crime. They'll be able to come right up into our yard and see a whole basement and everything like that, and we're just gonna have all sorts of traffic there. We were told when we purchased that it was supposed to be a continuation of like housing and that, and now we're finding something much more drastic. I think it will also have our environmental impacts. So I asked the board, when we start evaluating of what should be permitted in there, that we got to take in all these considerations there. So, thank you. Thank you for your time.
Can we hear from Megan Bray?
Hi, my name is Megan Bray, and I live at 3718 Blossom Drive. I did not plan on speaking today, so I don't have anything prepared, but I grew up in Mount Pleasant. I grew up in a subdivision very similar to this one, across the street from Mr. Venturini. And I grew up playing hockey in the street and hide and seek, and my parents didn't know where I was. I spent all day out playing. This neighborhood is that. It is one of the few places left you will see childhood still alive. These kids run around and play all day long. We moved from West Racine, where my kids couldn't leave the block or my eyesight. And now that we live here, they're gone all day. And I don't have to worry because there's one in, there's one out, and everyone who drives in that neighborhood is a friend, is a neighbor. We know each other, we look out for each other. We have celebrations together. We have an amazing Halloween that we do on our own outside of Mount Pleasant's scheduled time. We are a very close-knit community, and what you're proposing to do is to take that away from us. So our house currently backs into the farm field that goes all the way to the Pike River. So when we look at our backyard, we will often see amber waves of grain. And beautiful sunsets. And so yes, I don't want you to take my sunsets, but aside from that, adding 600 cars, let's just assume everyone who lives there has one car. Maybe there's two, 600 to 1,200 cars coming and going, Amazon deliveries, Uber Eats, through our neighborhood where these children have been running and playing. There's no sidewalks, there's no streetlights. You're robbing them of the gift we all worked very hard to give our family. And I am saying this to you in the good faith that you want what is best for your constituents, and that what you wouldn't put in your backyard, you will not put in mine. My son turned 16. The scariest part about him driving was leaving our neighborhood. I was so scared because you have to cross almost 6 lanes of traffic right before it turns to 55, which means everyone's already going 55. And it's just getting busier and busier and busier because now we have the seasons and now you're adding 600 to 1,200 more cars. It was the scariest part is trying to turn out of that neighborhood. I told him no matter what, if you're not sure you can make it, just wait. I don't care how many people line up behind you. Eventually there will be a break. We've had countless accidents there. It is already one of the most dangerous intersections, I believe, in Mount Pleasant. It is not going to be able to add more traffic. The end.
Tony Martino will give you the last word.
Unlike Megan, I had a whole speech planned. Tony Martino, 6710 Braun Road, Mount Pleasant. I think I'm going to forego that written speech and go through with instead speaking from the heart. I showed up early today to have a meeting with village staff. That staff member blatantly lied to me. After further pushing is the reason why this was moved off the agenda, because he finally had to face the reality that the village and the community board did not do what they're legally required to do, even though he defended to me, lied to me, and lied to all these people, because without that, you would be voting on something tonight possibly. I believe integrity is the basis of everything in our lives, whether it be our family, our children, wives, husbands, the way we do business, when we go to our own jobs. If I were to have blatantly lied to a consumer like I was lied to today, I would not have a job. At the very least, I would be suspended and reprimanded. And I believe there should be an investigation into that. And if you truly care about us and the community and what occurred, I'd be more than happy in a closed session to fully disclose with evidence how I was lied to and why it is unacceptable. So while I have digressed from the reason why everybody else is here today, I will cover those topics when this comes up again eventually. But for today, I demand some type of investigation into Sam Schultz and his ability to lie and cheat and do whatever he thinks he wants to do as part of this process. Thank you.
Anybody else wishing to speak? 3 minutes. That hasn't signed up. If not, we'll close public comment and we'll move on to the next item, which is the consent agenda. Trustee Batchor?
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve the items on the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
So I hear a motion and a second on the consent agenda. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion carries. So again, because of the publication issues, the new business regarding community development, the 4 public hearings will skip, and those will be agended for another time. And so from here, we can move on to discussion and possible motion to adopt a resolution 9er-2025, amending resolution 23-2024 for the general fund to transfer $25,000 to University Alliance funding.
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve Resolution 9-2025, amending Resolution 13-2024 for the general fund to transfer $25,000 for University Alliance funding. Second.
So I hear a motion and a second. Any further discussion on this?
I was just gonna say, just for the record, it's 23-2024. She said 13-2324.
So noted.
It was,
It's a typo.
oh, okay.
Was there anything else? This was a discussion that we took up in the committee of the whole meeting just beforehand, so I'm sure everybody's okay with moving forward with this. So I'll call the vote on it since it's a budget resolution. Roll call, please.
Karas.
Aye.
Anastasio.
Aye.
Venturini.
Aye.
Washburn.
Aye.
Doxey.
Aye.
Bhatia.
Aye.
DeGroot.
Aye, that motion carries. So next item is discussion regarding a service agreement with the University of Wisconsin-Madison and a memorandum of understanding with same University Alliance.
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve entering into a service agreement with University of Wisconsin-Madison and a memorandum of understanding with the University of Wisconsin-Madison University Alliance as presented.
Second.
So I hear a motion and a second, and again, this is something that we discussed, over, I believe, a number of COW meetings. But feel free to weigh in on it as you might.
Well, this is a program where the university partners with municipalities and provides students the opportunity to get real-world experience in municipal work. And so we have had it's kind of a competitive, I think, for us to be getting this partnership. And so we proposed some projects, and then they look for classes and students that could work on these projects for us. So the students get experience, and we get access to some new ideas too.
I think it's terrific. I agree.
Win-win.
So, do we need-
So on this one, memorandum of agreement, service agreement and all that, I think we just take a voice vote on this one. So all in favor of the motion that's as presented to us, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So that motion is approved. So now we've got discussion and possible motion regarding a new cigarette, tobacco, and electronic vaping device license application for Puff City Vape and Tobacco, 2, DBA Holy Smokes, 5630 Washington Avenue, Suite 10.
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve a new cigarette, tobacco, and vaping device retail license for Puff City Vape and Tobacco 2, located at 5630 Washington Avenue, Suite 10.
Second.
So I hear a motion in a second. This was something that we discussed at the COW meeting a little bit ago. Any further discussion on this one?
Mr. President, I'd like to make a comment. You know, when we were in the Cal meeting discussing this, Trustee Boccia brought up the concern over allowing more tobacco and vape-type stores and businesses in our community. We aren't necessarily wanting to be known to promote it. And the reality is that this is in a shopping mall where the zoning is absolutely in place and appropriate. And I guess, personally, I guess it's just kind of sad to see that demand is there as high as it is for these kind of establishments. But, you know, we are bound to approve it based on our zoning code and our responsibility to that code. So we did have a long discussion about it, and as I say, Trustee Boccia questioned whether we could in fact even, you know, deny it potentially. But based on the zoning on the properties and it's in our code, we are somewhat mandated to approve it.
Well, and we also got a clean bill of health from the police department on the operators,
Yeah, that's
operators as well.
That's true.
Yeah. So in the matter of the new cigarette, tobacco, electronic vaping device license, I can do voice vote on that, can I? Voice vote, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? No opposal, so that motion carries. So, on to reports. Anybody have anything to report? I do, but somebody can go first if they want.
From the Tourism Commission,
Yes.
I'll simply mention once again that our music series starts next Tuesday and goes throughout the summer, and we added in I believe it's called Pickin' in the Park, a bluegrass concert on the 21st of June, on a Saturday.
So our human resource manager, Mary, tipped me off to a little thing that she wanted me to share with everybody. And this is regarding our village administrator, Tammy Simons. And so from the Wisconsin City County Management Association, which is known as the WCMA, Scholarship and Awards Committee has selected Village Administrator Tammy Simons as the WCMA Meritorious Service Award recipient of the year.
Oh, wow.
Wow, congratulations, Tammy. You were keeping a big secret.
Yeah.
And Meritorious Service Award, in other words, means it's celebrating a really awesome person.
And the hours and the commitment to the hours that it takes to run communities like Mount Pleasant.
So I'll carry on with the rest of the paragraph. Ms. Simons was selected as the recipient of this award by her peers as she has demonstrated exemplary service as a professional manager, having displayed the characteristics of integrity and leadership in providing exceptional leadership and mentorship to the other professionals serving in local government. She will be honored during the WCMA conference the week of June 25th, 27th.
Oh.
Congratulations, Tammy.
Okay, wonderful. Not a surprise.
Say a few words if you want, but you don't have to. All right.
Thank you for the kind words. I do appreciate the honor of the award. It is not like me to want to be in the spotlight. Thank you very much, Mary. But again, thank you for the accolades and appreciation.
Okay, one last motion.
Move to adjourn?
Second.
So I hear a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye?
Aye.
Aye.
We stand adjourned. Thank you very much, everybody.